Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hey there.
Today, we're plunging into, well, a truly fascinating paradox, something that's been making some serious waves in the blockchain world. Imagine this, right? The co-founder of a major, thriving network, someone deeply invested in its future, publicly calls some of its biggest moneymakers, well, digital slop.
It's quite a statement, isn't it? Really bold.
Definitely.
And that's exactly what we're here to unpack today. This deep dive, it really centers around Anatoly Yakovenko, the co-founder of Solana,
Right.
and his surprisingly blunt comments about meme coins and NFTs.
So what's our mission here? What are we trying to figure out?
Okay, so the mission is to really dig into these controversial remarks, explore the arguments, for and against his stance, understand how the crypto community reacted, which was interesting, and maybe most importantly, look at the undeniable financial reality.
The money.
Exactly. Solana's relationship with these very assets, it's this compelling tension, I think, between a founder's philosophy and, well, the practical realities of their own ecosystem.
Absolutely. And we've got some sources to guide us.
We do.
Our sources mainly come from recent news excerpts titled, Solana Boss Says Memecoins, NFTs Are Digital Slop, which crucially include direct quotes from Anatoly Yakovenko himself.
And we're also drawing on some really interesting data from Syndica. They're a Solana-focused infrastructure firm.
Okay, Syndica. Got it.
Yeah.
So for you listening, if you're trying to make sense of this space, this situation just begs the question, right?
It really does.
How can something apparently so vital to a platform's success be just dismissed as slop by its own co-founder? Help us make sense of this. I mean, where do we even start?
Okay, well, let's start with Yakovenko's core argument. He's been incredibly consistent on this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stating since at least January 2024 that, and this is a quote, meme coins and NFTs are digital slop and have no intrinsic value.
Intrinsic value, wow.
He really hasn't backed down from that.
And he didn't just stop at slop, did he? I heard he used a pretty sharp comparison.
He did, yeah. Yakovenko directly compared meme coins to loot boxes in free-to-play mobile games.
Loot boxes. Okay, unpack that for us. Why is that comparison significant?
Well, loot boxes, right? These virtual rewards in games, critics often argue they kind of exploit players.
Right, encouraging spending without guaranteeing anything good.
Exactly. They encourage repeated spending, often without guaranteed positive outcomes, and their lack of transparency has even led to serious regulatory scrutiny. Think places like Australia, Germany.
Okay, so he's drawing a direct parallel between that kind of model and meme coins.
That's the implication, yeah. It's a powerful and, like you said, maybe a loaded comparison.
And it definitely stirred things up, didn't it? Especially with Jesse Pak, the creator of Base.
Oh, absolutely. A heated debate.
So how did Pak push back? Yakovenko saying values its market price discovery.
Right.
Did Pak offer a different take on intrinsic value?
He totally did. Pak argued there is intrinsic value right there in the content itself.
In the content, how so?
He used an analogy, likened it to a painting, said a painting is fundamentally valuable, whether or not people pay to see it in a museum.
It's interesting. A painting versus a meme coin.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Are we missing something about digital value if we only look at the price tag?
It's a great philosophical point. But then again, is comparing a meme coin, which often relies on, let's be honest, hype and community, to a unique piece of art. Is that fair? Is he stretching the idea of content?
That's a really good question. And I think it gets right to the heart of how different people are trying to define value in this, this emerging digital space.
Yeah.
But look, wherever you land on that specific debate, Yakovenko's comments definitely resonated, or rather caused a stir in the community.
Oh, for sure. Noticed quite a bit of criticism flying around, including from someone called Caps, a contributor to Flaunch, I think.
Yeah, Caps from Flaunch. They openly called out Yakovenko for basically mocking his own user base.
That's pretty blunt criticism.
Yeah.
Mocking your users.
And then there's Carbon, the crypto commentator, pretty widely followed.
I hooked over the name.
Carbon added another layer, said he found Yakovenko's approach much more distasteful. That was his word. Then how Vitalik Buterin over at Ethereum handles meme coins.
More distasteful. Why? What was Carbon's reasoning there? Is it about hypocrisy?
Well, Carbon's point seemed to be exactly that perceived contradiction. He's essentially asking, look, if you genuinely believe these things are worthless slop, Why are you, or your platform at least, actively benefiting from them and even promoting the ecosystem that, lets them thrive?
Right. It creates this very public tension.
Yeah, and the community is clearly picking up on it.
Okay, so this is where, as you said, the plot thickens.
Yeah.
It gets really interesting, maybe even a bit ironic.
Mm.
We've heard Yakovenko's strong opinions, this slop idea, but what do the actual numbers say about Solana and these assets? Is it just a minor thing or something more?
Oh, it's significantly more. The figures from Syndica, that infrastructure firm we mentioned, they revealed that Memecoins accounted for an all-time high of 62% of the Solana network's decentralized app revenue in June.
62%?
Yeah.
Just from DApp revenue?
It's just DApp revenue, yeah. So the fees users pay for using services built on Solana.
Wow.
And hold on, there's more. Memecoin activity apparently drove the majority of Solana's massive $1.6 billion in revenue during the first half of 2025.
Okay, wait. The majority of $1.6 billion.
And that's what the data suggests.
That's not just a revenue stream. That's practically the main highway.
Pretty much.
And the source mentioned a lot of this comes from specific places, right? Like Pump.fun.
Exactly. A large share comes from Solana-based memecoin launchpad Pump.fun and also Pump Swap.
Pump Swap. That's like a DX aggregator. Finds the best prices.
Precisely. It functions as a decentralized exchange aggregator. Basically, a smart tool that helps users get better prices across different crypto exchanges on Solana.
So yeah, this isn't some niche corner. It's central to their financial engine right now.
Absolutely central. And the space is super dynamic, too. We're already seeing competition pop up.
Oh, really? Like who?
Well, a rival platform called LetBonk has at times actually surpassed Pump.fun in 24-hour revenue as Solana's top meme coin launchpad.
LetBonk beating Pump.fun sometimes. It just shows how active and, frankly, how lucrative this specific area is.
It really underscores it, yeah. Huge activity.
And talk about unpredictable. There was that bizarre example in the source material about Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, yeah, the CryptoBats NFTs.
His death apparently sparked a 400% surge in those NFTs. I mean,
we'll see. Right.
You just can't make that up. It completely throws conventional ideas of value out the window. It just shows how wild and sentiment-driven this space can be.
It certainly does. And you know what? It ties directly back to Yakovenko himself.
How so?
He actually acknowledged something quite surprising. He admitted that without meme coins, Solana wouldn't be where it is today.
He admitted that after calling them slop.
Yep. And he drew another parallel, this time claiming Apple's revenues would be negligible if it weren't for loot boxes in their app store.
Comparing Solana's reliance on meme coins to Apple's reliance on loot boxes.
Wow. It's quite the comparison. And it really brings up a critical question, I think.
Which is?
Can a platform truly thrive long-term if its own co-founder publicly views a major revenue driver as essentially worthless slop? Or is this just maybe a necessary, if uncomfortable, phase of growth in today's digital economy?
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here for you listening, trying to understand digital assets?
Well, we've definitely seen a fascinating, almost stark tension, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. The philosophical stance of a blockchain co-founder directly clashing with the cold, hard financial reality of his own network.
And we've explored these different definitions of value in the digital space. Is it intrinsic content, like Polak suggests? Or is it purely market-driven price discovery, as Yakovenko argues?
Right.
And we touched on the ethical questions, too. The echoes of the loot box debate now playing out in crypto.
Yeah. This deep dive really highlights that even within one ecosystem, like Solana, there can be these vastly different views on what value even means, what counts as innovation.
It's definitely not a unified front. These internal debates, they can be just as impactful as anything happening outside.
Absolutely. So maybe a final thought for our listeners to chew on.
Okay, consider this for your own exploration. In this incredibly fast-moving digital world, when the creators themselves, the architects, openly question the fundamental worth of their most profitable products, what does that really imply? What does it mean for the future stability, the perceived legitimacy of these assets, and maybe even, for the broader digital economy they're part of?
A really potent question to end on. Lots to think about there.